You have $650 million, and nobody knows. Not your neighbors, not your friends, not even the guy at the diner who's been pouring your coffee for 6 years and doesn't even ask anymore. Just sets it down. Black? Exactly how you take it. You're not hiding. You're just ordinary on purpose. Because somewhere along the way, while everyone else was chasing what looked like wealth, you quietly built something that actually was. And the strangest part? It didn't arrive with a moment. No champagne, no celebration, no phone call, just an email. Subject line, Q2 portfolio summary, no exclamation mark, no urgency, no drama. You're standing in the plumbing aisle of a hardware store, holding a $9 bottle of drain cleaner, trying to remember whether the pipe under one of your laundromats is PVC or galvanized. When you open it, you read the number once, then again. $650 million. You look up. Nothing changes. Same fluorescent lights. Same forklift beeping somewhere in the back. Same guy next to you comparing prices on fittings like his entire day depends on saving $3. Nobody knows. And that's exactly how you built it. It didn't start with a big idea. It started with something most people would have ignored. A vending machine. Hospital break room. Tuesday afternoon. Half empty. Jammed. You weren't inspired. You were just curious. Who owns this thing? That question alone puts you ahead of 99% of people, because most people interact with systems. Very few ever stop to look for the person behind them. So you go home and spend 40 minutes searching. 40 minutes. That's it. And what you find is almost disappointing. A small operator, maybe 10 to 15 machines, spread across a few buildings, pulling in somewhere between $50 and $120 per machine each month after costs. Nothing impressive, nothing exciting. But the math doesn't lie. One machine, approximately $80 net. 5 machines, $400. 10 machines, $800. 25 machines. Now you're looking at $2,000 plus a month from something that doesn't need you to be there. That's when it clicks. Not the money, the structure, the idea that income doesn't have to be tied to your time, that a machine can sit in a hallway, solve a tiny problem for strangers, and quietly pay you over and over again. No meetings, no boss, no performance review, just function. You buy your first machine for $900. You scratched, slight dent on one side. You place it in a dental office lobby. Handshake agreement. Revenue split. First month, $280 gross. After product, after location cut, after gas. You net $190. That's it. $190. Your coworker makes more than that in one overtime shift. Your friend just posted a signing bonus online, bigger than what this machine will earn in years. Nobody congratulates you. Nobody even knows. And sitting there, staring at that number on a Thursday night, you feel something strange. Not pride, not disappointment, something quieter. But here's the difference. Most people would stop there. You didn't. Because you weren't looking at the $190. You were looking at what the $190 proved. So you buy another machine, then another, and then something changes in how you see the world. You stop looking at things as a customer. You start looking for ownership, laundromats, parking lots, car washes, billboards, things people use every day without thinking twice, because that's the pattern. If nobody notices it, it's probably making money. You discover laundromats, not glamorous, not scalable in the way startups brag about, but stable, relentlessly stable. People don't stop washing clothes, not in a recession, not in a downturn, not when the market drops 20%. You find a small one in Ohio, 15 machines. Old, but working. Price, $47,000. The books are messy. The owner tracked everything in a notebook. But underneath the mess, there's cash flow. Real cash flow. Year 1, $38,000 net. No spotlight, no headline, just money showing up every month. You don't celebrate, you reinvest. That's the part nobody sees. Not the scaling, not the discipline, not the nights at the kitchen table, running numbers while everyone else is asleep. Just small decisions, repeated, over and over, for years. Your accountant's name is Karen. She's seen everything. Messy businesses, over-leveraged owners, people who look rich and are one bad month away from collapse. You hand her your portfolio summary. She reads it slowly, then looks up and says, "This is the most deliberately uninteresting portfolio I've ever seen." She means it as criticism. You take it as confirmation, because that's the point. 4 laundromats, 2 parking lots bought at county auctions, 3 billboards where you own the land, not the ads. A commercial cleaning company quietly pulling in over $1 million a year. Nothing flashy, nothing viral, nothing impressive to the outside world. But every single one of them shares one thing. They solve problems that don't go away. People park cars, people wash clothes, buildings get dirty, highways exist. No trend can disrupt that. No app can replace it. No competitor can innovate a parking lot. Meanwhile, everyone else is chasing attention, startups, crypto plays, viral brands, markets where being interesting is required just to survive. Where one bad quarter erases years of work. You chose something else entirely. You chose markets where nothing changes. Where Tuesday looks exactly like Monday. Where money moves quietly, and then something unexpected happens. You become invisible. At a networking event, a guy in a designer t-shirt, worth more than your entire outfit, asks what you do. You say, "I own a few small businesses, laundromats mostly." You watch him lose interest in real time. He categorizes you instantly, mid-level, small time, not important. And then he turns away. That moment, that's worth more than any deal in the room. Because the second people underestimate you, they stop watching you. And when nobody is watching, you can build anything. And when nobody is watching, something else becomes possible. You can think clearly. No pressure to perform. No need to signal success. No audience to impress. Just decisions. Clean, quiet, rational decisions. That's when you start to understand something most people never do. Wealth is not what you show. It's what you control. The car you drive, that's a signal. The house you post, that's a signal. The watch, the clothes, the vacations, all signals. But signals are expensive. And worse, they're addictive. Because once you start performing wealth, you have to keep performing it. Bigger, louder, more visible. And suddenly, your life isn't built around freedom anymore. It's built around maintaining an image. You chose something else. You chose to disappear. Your car is a 2019 SUV with miles on it and a small crack in the bumper you haven't fixed. Not because you can't, because it doesn't matter. It starts every morning. It gets you where you need to go. And most importantly, it attracts zero attention. That's not an accident. That's strategy. Because attention comes with a cost. The moment people know what you have, they start treating you differently. Not always in obvious ways. Sometimes it's subtle. A shift in tone, a different kind of conversation, an idea someone suddenly wants to run by you. And sometimes it's direct. A loan request, an investment opportunity, a quick favor that isn't quick and isn't small. You've seen it happen. You've watched money change the temperature of a room. So you made a decision early. Keep the temperature neutral. That's what the ordinary life gives you. Freedom without friction. The ability to move through your own world without being seen as a target. But there's a part of this no one talks about. A cost that doesn't show up on any balance sheet. Your best friend calls you one night. Not for small talk. There's something underneath it. He's been building a business for 2 years, grinding, late nights, early mornings, real effort. Now he has a chance to expand, a real opportunity. He needs $85,000. You could send that money in under 30 seconds. It wouldn't change your life. It wouldn't even register. But you don't. And this is where it gets complicated because the question isn't, can you help? The question is, should you? You've learned something most people learn the hard way. Money doesn't fix broken systems. It amplifies them. If the foundation is weak, money makes the collapse bigger, faster, more painful. So instead of sending the money, you show up, you sit at his kitchen table, you go through numbers, line by line. You ask questions he's never been asked before. Margins, lease terms, worst case scenarios, cash flow timing. At first it's uncomfortable for both of you Because this isn't emotional support, this is clarity, but something shifts. Week by week, he starts seeing his business differently, more clearly, more honestly. By the fourth week, he doesn't need your money anymore. He finds a better path, a smarter path, one he actually understands. Months later, he calls you. He got the location. He's holding the keys. His voice shakes a little, not because someone saved him, but because he built it himself. You never tell him you could have written the check, not because you're humble, because it would ruin the story. That's the part people don't see, not the money, the restraint, because real wealth isn't just about what you can do. It's about what you choose not to do. The email still sits in your inbox. $650 million. A number most people will spend their entire lives chasing, dreaming about, planning for. And here's the truth. It doesn't feel how they think it does. There's no moment where everything clicks, no sudden transformation, no finish line, because the number was never the point. The system was. The quiet, repeatable structure you built, that runs whether you're watching or not. That grows whether you feel motivated or not. That doesn't depend on attention, trends, or luck. That's what changed your life, not the $650 million, the way it was built. And once you understand that, you start seeing the world differently. You notice the person financing a car they can't afford just to look successful. You notice the business that looks impressive but bleeds money behind the scenes. You notice the difference between noise and substance, and it becomes impossible to unsee. Because the truth is simple, uncomfortable, but simple. The performance of wealth and the architecture of wealth almost never exist in the same place. One demands attention, the other avoids it. One burns cash to be seen, the other compounds quietly in the background. One feels exciting, the other feels boring. But only one of them works. You start the car, same road, same routine, same life. Nothing around you looks different, and that's exactly the point, because somewhere along the way, you stopped trying to look rich and started building something far more dangerous, independence. And now the real question isn't, how much money can you make? It's this: if nobody ever saw what you built, would you still build it? Because that answer, that's where everything begins.